Well, welcome everybody to the Rams NHRU match of the round. It's round 8 here, and we've got a pretty good one for you out there in Bar TV land. It's the top of the table clash between the Hamilton Hawks and the Wanderers Club. Of course, the Hawthorn Cup up for grabs. So I'll tell you who's not up for grabs. It's my partner in crime. He's back in the Bar TV commentary box after an extended leave of absence. Jimmy Gardner, how are you from the Newcastle Herald?
Mate, great to be here, mate. First up from a spell. It could be a bit rusty, I would suggest, but I'll do my best.
No need for polishing, Jimmy. It'll be fine here on Bar TV Sports. Of course, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course our website, bartvsports.com.au. And we look forward to bringing this match too. Of course, you can see down there the players getting ready. And the reserve grade fixture, it is a nail biter at the moment, Jimmy. But this game that we're about to cover, the first grade game, it's a big one, especially for Peter Backerick. It's his 200th grade game here today.
Yeah, he's been a real stalwart of the club. Pete Backerick came here about 10 or so years ago. He's the smallest prop you'll ever see, but one of the great backer-uppers in terms of front rowers to grace the NHRU. Always sniffs out a try. Good scrummager too for someone who doesn't carry a lot of bulk, and he'll certainly he'll have his chest puffed out today, and I'm sure he'll do a decent job.
Yeah, definitely. The big selection of the last couple of weeks is Luke Sherwood coming into the Wanderers side, playing in the 6 jersey, which offers them a few different options around the park, but following in the footsteps of great backline players like Mick Gill from the Merriweather Carlton Club, moving into breakaway. Do you think one day he may find himself up front?
I think he's... I was just talking to his brother who says he's waking up feeling like an 80-year-old playing number 6, so I can't imagine him making that next step into the front row, but he plays with his heart and soul. He's certainly the smallest number 6 in terms of height. He's about 5'2", so I don't think he'll be much of a feature in the lineup. But when he was playing number 9, he played like an extra back row. He's in everything. He's a little terrier.
Yeah, he's very good over the ball. It's one part of his playing aspect that it's underrated. He comes up with a lot of stills. He used to do it as a halfback, get his head in there, where most halfbacks wouldn't put their hands.
Yeah, indeed, and he'll have his younger brother Nathan at halfback today, so he'll be barking instructions at him as well. So he'll be certainly all over the ball. He's going to need to be because this is a very good Hamilton team and they're very strong at the breakdown. So he was only going to start the year playing some lower grades, so he could play number 7 and have a bit of fun. But the competitive spirit in him soon found him in 2nd grade. And now it's his opportunity in 1st grade. He's been there a couple of weeks, so another yellow card. I think that's the 4th yellow card in the last 10 minutes we've seen in this 2nd grade game. Wanderers down to 12 or 13 men at present. So. Thrilling finish to this one. Yeah,
the Hawks are definitely flying home in the reserve grade fixture here. As we look down there on the sideline, the barbecue's looking fresh. I've sampled it myself, Jimmy, and I'm missing a finger. It was that good.
Fair enough. They always put on a good show here at Hamilton. Old Boys Day today, I think, so there'll be a fair crew down in that southern end of the...
It's been a big couple of weeks. It's the 50th year this year, the Hamilton Hawks, and they had their big ball last weekend, 470. Got along to it? Did you get along to it?
No, I didn't. But
you're an old boy, aren't you?
Oh, I did have a year at Hamilton Hawk here at Passmore. It was a bit different in those days. They certainly weren't the powerhouse that they are now. But they unveiled the last 10 inductees into their Hall of Fame, and some players that'll be out there today. Steve Lamont obviously has won 4 premierships. He was out there. Paddy Kilmurray, another one. They're inside centre today. So. I think it's great that they've opened a Hall of Fame. I don't think I've heard of another local club that has a Hall of Fame as such. They all have their honour boards and their clubman of the year and their life members and that. But they have a Hall of Fame, and they've basically got one member of the Hall of Fame for every year of their existence. So they inducted another 10 last week to take it up to 50. It's a great initiative, and it would certainly create a lot of debate, and it was a very well attended function they had. Yeah,
it certainly was, and. The Wanderers Rugby Club, they're flying along in this Rams 2017 competition. They're undefeated, they're top of the table, and I'll tell you what, their backline is probably the best in the competition, certainly the fastest.
Yeah, no doubt. If you look at it, there's only 2 changes from that backline from the grand final. Basically, from fly half out to fullback, it's the same side. They've got some real wheels out there. I can't wait to see Josh McCormick at the back of this Wanderers backline. He obviously came across from Maitland, where he didn't have a lot of pace around him, whereas today he's got so much pace around him.
He certainly thrived. It took a while to warm up to the task of coming over to a new club, obviously, with the combinations. But the last game we covered with Southern Beaches, he scored 4 tries off the back of some very good backline work. So he's definitely one to watch out for. And, of course, Tim Marsh, leading try scorer last year, he has speed to burn, and I'm told Daniel Spiteri is back playing for the Merriweather Carlton Club.
Okay, yeah.
And it would be an interesting foot race if he does go up the grades, which is which is the likely thing to happen on the end of that Merriweather backline, which isn't functioning at the moment.
Yeah, well, Dan would have to be late 30s now, though.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's still fast.
Well, he's my brother-in-law, so...
Yeah, exactly.
But, I'm good over 10. I can beat him in backyard cricket.
Well, he was a real flyer. You know, he's probably established himself here and created some headlines when he was playing for Singleton. Then had a bit of a stint at the Newcastle Knights from memory.
Cessnock. I think he's the only player in history to be the leading try scorer of both rugby and rugby league in Newcastle. So it'll be interesting to see in a couple of weeks when that does happen. But in any case, you mentioned Paddy Kilmurray before against Cal McDonald. Two very good defensive centres and two very good line-breaking centres as well.
Yeah, that'll be one of there's some really great key matchups in this game, and that's certainly one of them. Paddy probably playing as good as he did when he represented New South Wales country, and probably would be playing country if he made himself available. He's another one of the Hall of Famers that we mentioned here. He straightens it up with the ball and with attack. Yeah, he's like a brick. You can't get past him. So I'm sure they'll be running different angles to try and find a bit of space around him rather than trying to go over the top of him. Of
course, this match brought to you by Mascot, one of our valued partners here at Bar TV Sports. If you are involved in a sporting club, get on the website, get the app, because it will help your club commercialise its sponsors and increase communication within all the stakeholders involved in grassroots sport, which is it's a very good initiative. It's by a local company as well, Mad Media, Merck Media. So those guys, the Dries guys, more known for their cricket, but certainly making inroads in the grassroots sports area. We're going to go now to the ground as both sides look like they're going to come out. Steve Lamont moving to the side to make way for Peter Maxwell, who himself is 39 this year, but he looks all the part of 26, doesn't he?
He does. He's a real. I mean, you certainly won't question his fitness. He certainly, he spent a couple of years right into that CrossFit where I think he was either national champion or certainly in the top 5 of that. So, he plays. He might have the body of a 39-year-old, but he's certainly got the heart and the head of a young guy. He'll go all day. That's going to be one of the key matchups, is the scrum. I mean, if you remember last year's grand final, it was the second half when Hamilton really got on top. They turned the Wanderers scrum into a shopping trolley, basically, and Wanderers lost all that first phase ball. And with that back line they have now, they need some front foot ball. So if Wanderers can hold their own there, I think that they're in this. But if Hamilton certainly get that ascendancy up front, it could be a long afternoon.
Yeah, speaking of Coleman pre-match, he certainly was not so much worried, but I guess his scrum, the dominant scrum it has been this year, just sort of worried he was going to have a chat with the referee pre-game, so I'm told, just about the scrum collapsing on Wanderers' behalf. But I've been impressed by their set piece this year with the Wanderers. They don't get a lot of credit for it, but the front row of the Wanderers, McKillop, Giannis and Ryan Jackson from the UK, he is unbelievable. So take nothing against them. I think it's going to be pretty even at the set piece.
They were telling me this week, Ryan Jackson, when they say they want to do extras, at the end of training, he goes straight to the scrum machine. So rather than do the 50s or shuttle runs, he's all about scrummaging. And McKillop played for Scone last year, came down as a prop, but lost a bit of weight, so they put him in the second row. But at 6'2", 6'3", he's certainly going to be a physical specimen. And Simon Yanis, the other at tight head, good to see him back in first grade. He was 6 years ago, he was nearly the form prop of the competition.
Yes,
but then
for sure.
He decided to play lower grades, and I think his parents owned a restaurant, and I think he was doing quite a bit of food tasting there. Put on a few extra
like
kilos.
All good front rows.
But now he's back fit.
That's a front row's dream.
Yeah, and of course a couple of them back. Dave Waller back from the Netherlands, a playing stint over there. I think he played second grade today. And also good to see Ben Christensen coming back from a shoulder issue.
Yeah, definitely.
In third grade today. So they've got a little bit of depth now in the front row. Wanderers, but certainly nowhere near the depth that Hamilton have. They've got as Scott Coleman said to me in today's Newcastle Herald, they've got possibly 3 front rows they could call on right through the grades, and they find that live scrumming at training is harder than they get in the games often. So it's going to be one of the real battles. Well, he doesn't normally talk his team up, but that's one area he says we haven't found our mojo yet, but our scrum is the thing that's really firing for us.
Well, it could be a battle of the fly halves, of course. The new addition for this Hamilton Hawks backline this year is Sam McNeil. Finding his feet here, Luke Simmons, of course, he controls the game. He's got a deft touch. He can kick them out of trouble off both feet. And then he works in tandem with Cal McDonald as well. So that combination still in vogue, I guess, for the Wanderers side. But the Hawks backline still looking to click this year, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, Sam McNeil played the majority of his footy last year at fullback. So he's up in the front line now. Defensively, obviously, that is a different task. He's going to be a lot more to shoulder on. And first of all, Luke Simmons, I think the captaincy's really brought the best out of him. I think he's up there leading near the Anderson medal. He's controlling things. His kicking game's probably been the weakest part of his game in the past, but that's an area he's really worked on. As we see now, the Wanderers side run out into the field.
Well, there's Simmons there. You can see him Great camera shots from our production team here at Bar TV Sports as the Wanderers side come out onto the field. This is the top of the table clash. It's the one we've been waiting for all season. We're into round 8 here for the Rams NHRU. Of course, this match brought to you as well by Mascot and Wilson & Co. And, of course, Elders, fine sponsors of the Hamilton Hawks as well. As we just now wait for the Hamilton side, I believe Peter Backrich, he'll be making his way out first to a fanfare, a rapture of applause here. He's a crowd favourite.
And he'd love nothing more today than to salute them with a try, no doubt. Hand in the air raised. He loves the try celebration as much as he loves getting over that.
He's a lair, that's for sure.
I don't think there's going to be too many tries in this one, to be honest. I think it's going to be a pretty tight affair, particularly first up, as we've seen now. Pete Backrich charge out in the number 22, followed by Captain Steve Lamont.
Pete Backrich in the 22, purely because the big props that they do have, the Hamilton Hawks, he doesn't fit into the number 1 jersey.
They're too big for him?
Too big. He swims in it. Of course, Steve Lamont is the captain here today. You can see out there on the touchline as the Hamilton Hawks make their way out onto the field. It's a pretty big crowd here at Passmore Oval.
I'm sure they'll get vocal as this game gets along too. The second grade got a bit lively, so I imagine this one will be even more attuned with what's going on. Good to see Fave Silva back too. I'm interested to see how he has improved from his stint at Warringah. Scott Coleman did a favour for his brother Darren and lent him down to the Warringah Rats for a couple of months when they were a bit short of front rowers. And I think he made 4 or 5 appearances off the first grade bench at tight head, which is you don't come back without learning anything after that sort of experience. So he'll be the one that will be really leading the attack against the Wanderers scrum at that tight end, trying to probably get the best of Doug McKillop, who hasn't played much front row this year. So that'll be one of the many interesting tussles.
Yeah, certainly, and he is a lot fitter as well than what he was over the last season. I guess coming into the grand final, he plays himself into fitness, but at this stage of the year, he's very fit.
Yeah, I think
he's very dangerous around the park.
He knows if he wants to go to Sydney next year, he can't just be doing well here. He has to be dominating here, and that starts at scrum time. And it also means ball carries and getting around the park and doing that hard stuff that sometimes you get away with not doing in Newcastle if you've got a very good back row.
So it'll be Hamilton to kick off, running a left to right on your screen towards the tent city end. And the Wanderers, of course, in the 2 blues as referee Drew Tonks blows time on, and it's a flat kick straight down the throat of Simmons, and Simmons gets the ball downfield and into touch for a nice exit there.
Bit of a nothing kick-off that one was. It was sort of in no man's land. It wasn't too deep where Wanderers had to scramble to make touch, and it wasn't too short to give his forwards an option of running. So probably tactically first points go to Wanderers, but that's a good line out there. Win at the back by Ackersdyke.
Yeah, nice work by Ackersdyke. The ball goes to Kilmurray, and Kilmurray takes them up towards that 40. The legs drive, and this will be interesting here as the inside ball from McNeil.
Yeah, that's Paulson, Swedish, number 7. I'm interested to have a chat to him this week. He's come out looking for a game, and Ryan Dunnett sent him Hawks way, and he's been a big find.
As the ball goes out wide, Hamilton not making any distance, but prepared to chance their arm as Kilmurray now looking for options. He'll be forced to pick and drive, and he's driven backwards there by Ben Ham. And now Silla.
Yeah, a bit flat-footed there. Good pressure here from Wanderers. Up off the line.
They've got them back over the halfway, and they turn the ball over, but that is a penalty there, so unlucky, I feel, for the Wanderers side. They were attacking the ruck there, and it was good defence shown.
Looks like the Wanderers hooker there, Ryan Jackson, just in a bit of discomfort after a collision. Hands above his head, sucking a couple of deep ones. That's a horrible kick, hasn't made touch. Luke Simmons now with the ball. That
is a very bad mistake and a rare mistake by the Hamilton Hawks, and now the Wanderers side get over the halfway line. And again, Simmons content to kick and get them out of trouble. It'll be Hawks ball again, midfield. Good defence shown by the Wanderers early on.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think that's something they've really worked on this year. That has been their line speed. They've got the best defensive record in the competition, and Hamilton have the best attack. So we'll see which one comes out on top. As again, Paddy Kilmurray doing what he does best and tracking it up over the ad line.
Yeah, Kilmurray, he's the go-to man, and Dylan Amate, he's hard to put down, and he tries to bump off the opposition there, but it's a good tackle in the end by the Wanderers side, and they look to be a little bit offside as Silla now takes it up. I just thought they may have jumped the gun there.
Yeah, very deep, the Hawks ball carriers, as Matt Ferry puts one over the top, again down to Simmons, covers it easily. I see he, as per normal, sort of jumps back to fullback in defence. When they have the ball, moves up into the attacking line at number 10, as Tim Marsh is lifted and driven into the ground.
Yeah, Tim Marsh was looking
We've got some numbers here.
a little bit casual there. And here comes Billy Coffey. And Billy Coffey running down the touchline, but he will be run down in the end. Stays in touch somehow. And Ben Ham backing up nicely. McDonald trying to do the work, and Sherwood can't get to the ball, but it's going to be a turnover here for the Hawks. In the end, it's a penalty for diving over, and Drew Tonks all over that one.
Yeah, Sam Hayes showed some great pace there to run down Billy Coffey. Once he gets in a bit of fresh air, he's normally away with that that speed. He's got those legs pumping, but Sam Hayes did well to come across and drag him to ground. And Wanderers probably a little bit lucky there. Hamilton had some numbers at the breakdown, but Drew Tonks has found an error. And this is a good opportunity for Wanderers to attack from just outside the 22. Yeah,
the first real opportunity for either side here on the 22. And the Wanderers back line, you look for imagine Billy Coffey may come in. As we see Sherwood's running out wide. That's Luke Sherwood. Diminutive breakaway now, we can call him. And that comes to Simmons. Great hands there. And Cal McDonald has a bit of space. And it opens up for McDonald. Gets it away. Someone gets their body in between. And they're calling for the try, and that is a try, penalty try.
Not sure what happened there. Man must have been taken without the ball. I'm sure our video specialists will give a good look at that, but they certainly, they protested straight away, didn't they, the two Blues, once that ball went to ground. But it was a great run from Cal McDonald. Again, shows his strength. Once he gets outside of it, gets that big left palm out, he's almost impossible to stop. And the yellow card as well. Looks like, I think it's maybe the winger coming towards us.
We look at the replay here. We'll see McDonald getting through the space and made Kilmurray look pedestrian almost.
An intentional knockdown.
Yeah, it was Kyle Ward with the hand down, and the knockdown was backwards.
A bit unlucky there for Mike.
Yeah, very unlucky because he was...
It was an intentional knockdown, but he did have plenty of men outside him, but he didn't knock it forward. He knocked it backwards. Refereeing's not my strength. When I was captain, I used to think I knew all the rules, but I certainly don't anymore. But I might need to get some clarification on that one, but certainly... intentionally knocked the ball down, but he knocked the ball back towards his own try line.
Well, Drew Tonks, I mean, he's had a good year himself. He's been involved in some Premier Rugby in Brisbane. He's on the precipice of, I believe, getting into some of that Super Under-20 stuff and the Sevens programs that the AAU pathways are now completing. So that's a try, and that is 7-0 to the two Blues. As that ball comes downfield. Did he miss that kick before?
No, I would have been in front because it was a penalty try. So.
And now Simmons gets the ball inside. Coffey with a bit of space and looking to run back in field, back towards his forwards this time. And he gives them a bit of a breather and gets them in good field position. Now Simmons has plenty of space. And here comes Rowney. Rowney has plenty of pace himself. Marsh on the outside, and they won't stop him from there. He is quick, he is lightning, and he's over.
Two tries in two succession there. Wanderers really opened this one up. We mentioned their speed and how they only need a little bit of space, and once they get it, geez, they find it. And geez, Tim Marsh carrying off the form. He finished unlucky not to be in the New South Wales country team for mine, Tim Marsh, but he was in the original squad but left out of match day. Again, give them a space, and geez, they take a mile, as we see here.
Yeah, the back line for Wanderers, it is the best in the competition, and that's why Simmons saw the opportunity and Rowney just put the foot down, and in the end, it was as easy as you like for the winger Tim Marsh. He's had a couple of weeks off, but I'd say he'll be there and thereabouts, leading try scorer towards the end of the year.
Wanderers couldn't have asked for a better start. Their defence was very good in those opening exchanges. They got up in the face of Hamilton, forced them into a couple of errors. They won a couple of clean lineouts, and now they've got some. Now their backs have got a bit of ball with a bit of space, and they've exploited it. Great start for the two Blues.
So tougher kick, tougher assignment here for the fly half Simmons. With that stabbing style of kick that he does, he keeps it low. But he tracks at about 85%. As we see, Simmons comes in. He's under a bit of pressure as the ball comes over, but no, the flag stayed down. So the score remains 12-0.
Crowd gone a bit silent here, a bit stunned, the Hamilton Hawk faithful. They weren't expecting this sort of explosive start. I think they just got to get into the grind. They haven't really had their hands on the ball yet, the Hawks, in the opening 7 or 8 minutes that we've had so far. They've A couple of times they have had Wanderers have got up in their face and they're forced an error, and they just haven't got into that rhythm, that momentum where they suck some defenders in, get their forwards on the pick and drive.
Yeah, they look a little bit out of sorts.
That ball
early
taken
on,
just outside, so he couldn't find touch there, Simmons, and here's an opportunity now for for
Vasagotti. It is, and Vasagotti now lines up and finds Rockaboro, and here he goes, bumping off a couple. This is what the Hamilton side need, is they get up towards the 40. Short side plays on as it goes to Ackersdyke, and again, that Wanderers defence is up in their face and not giving them any quarter at all so far. As Silla goes down the short side, he bumps one off and tries to keep the legs going as Billy Coffey couldn't stick to him. And now the ball comes out wide again, and this time it is Paulson.
Of course, the Hawks down to 14 men with Kyle Ward getting sent to the sin bin there. So probably created that little bit extra space on the right that the two Blues exploited. Now we see the Hawks just trying to truck it up through the middle.
Yeah, they certainly look better when they're playing like this, the Hamilton Hawks. It's the Hamilton Hawks of the early millennium, isn't it? That's how they always used to play, but they just need to get some cohesion going here, and McNeil needs to guide the troops around.
Of course,
as we see counter-rucking here by the two Blues, and that is going to be a penalty. Sherwood trying to pluck the ball, and I don't know how he would have gone with the clean break.
I think he just ruled to have come in from the side there.
So it's in kicking distance, and we'll have a look at the replay here, yeah. Just coming in from the side. And the hand went straight up, and they go for touch, and Kilmurray this time, it was an ugly-looking kick off the boot again. But
he's not getting much trajectory with those kicks, is he? He's hitting nice and flat, looking for distance rather than beauty. Of course, Hamilton, I think, with it, certainly probably the third-choice halfback today with Matt Ferry. And now, again, he's played Fenny first grade, so that's nothing to sneeze at. But with Liam Walker out, looks like for the rest of the season with arthritis in his back. Young Noah Church away in a band. Ivan Walkling still not back.
He played second-grade Walkling today as Rockaboro takes that forward. But, yeah, Ferry, he's impressive, isn't he? He's a good, solid halfback, and that's a penalty to Wanderers. And the Hamilton Hawks coaching staff, you can see there, they're shaking their heads in disappointment. The discipline just isn't there of the Hamilton Hawks of old today, Jimmy.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to be very strict at the breakdown. Drew Tonks, whether you're attacking or defending, he wants to be pretty clinical. So I think that's the fourth ruck infringement we've found already. And, of course, I think Matt Free would have played a lot more first grade if he hadn't had a horror run with injury. I think he might have done a knee or a shoulder. Virtually missed a whole season when he was just starting to establish himself in the number 9 jumper.
Well, it's interesting again. The Wanderers don't go with the full complement in their line-out. Sherwood was out wide,
I don't think
as is Nick Brady.
Feature much in there at all. Good pass, bullet pass there from Nathan Sherwood. They've got some numbers out here.
Yeah, here's Billy Coffey again, looking to take on Dylan Amate, and good ball and all tackled by the winger on winger. They're two big men, and now they pick and drive. McDonald forced to pick up as the ball spat out. So Sherwood now digging for it. Nice little short ball between the forwards. McKillop takes that one.
He's nice and strong.
Up towards the 40. Sherwood finds a bit of space and can't get a ball away to Simmons. Oh, that is an unbelievable hit. Rockaboro, the ball just flying away.
He hit Simon Yanis with everything he had then. He gets straight back up, though, credit to him, but it looks like we might have a turnover here for the Hawks. No, and it's the hooker. Ryan Jackson makes a little dart, finds a hole in behind the ruck. Driving forward, they need a good clean out here, the two Blues. They're going to have them lined up on the left if they can get it there quick enough.
Yeah, well, Simmons has the ball now out wide to McDonald, has a bit of space, looking for Coffey. Flick pass around the corner, and this could be a try. The Hamilton Hawks come across, though, and Josh McCormack, I thought he could have gone for the line there, but he chose not to.
Yeah, just step back on the inside. Did well to secure the ball. Again, they've still got numbers here. They need to just straighten it up.
Ham taken midfield. Good field position here for the two Blues. Sherwood to the left, but he goes right. His brother, short ball there to Jackson, and Jackson is going to be called forward. Yeah, I thought it was a line ball, but definitely travelled forward there, and referee Tonks was on the spot again.
Well, they just need to be a little bit more patient there, Wanderers. They sucked a couple of defenders in. They just tried to shift it really wide, really quick, and the ball runner was just a fraction offside. Trying to make the most of obviously having this extra man out there, as the Hawks still have Kyle Ward in the sin bin for that earlier indiscretion that resulted in a penalty try. So we might hopefully get some clarity around it at half-time, perhaps. Steve Sione and Durant Weaver here warming up on the bench for the Hawks. There's a couple of handy players.
Yeah, I was just about to say, imagine that front row coming off your bench, especially the majority of the clubs scratch around to find prop forwards, but
And Steve Sioni's been over in New Zealand for a month or so, and from what I understand, didn't do a great deal of training over there, so he's just working back into a little bit of fitness. But once he gets game fit, he's certainly one of the most dynamic back rowers in the competition. Coming back this year from 3 or 4 years down playing in Canberra at the Royals.
well, this is the first scrum of the match here, so it's been a well put together match. Both sides handling, and we'll see who is the dominant scrum here. Yeah, that's a penalty straight away to the Hawks. The scrum going down.
It was going down on the loose head side too.
Yeah, they may struggle with that, the two Blues, and I don't think it'll be.
Well, it's certainly an area if they want to when the whips are cracking at the end of the season, they need to have that scrum solid. We saw what happened to them last year's grand final. That was the difference. They were in the game up until half time, and then all of a sudden the Hawks scrum got an ascendancy and bang, the game was over. So if they want to be there come September, they need to do plenty of work on that scrum.
So it'll be a Hawks line out here, and it goes to the back and nicely won. Again, they've been very good at the set piece, which they've worked on over the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit up and down the line out for the Hawks as they drive the ball forward. Wanderers trying to get on the ball there. An advantage was being played, I thought. And that's charged down, and nice work by Ben Ham, getting his big hands involved as Nathan Sherwood tries to take a darting run off the back of the breakdown.
Geez, there's not much between him and Luke Sherwood, is there? They play very similar styles. And Nathan's probably got that little bit of zip on his brother at the moment. Again, he's another one coming back from, I think, 2 knee reconstructions he's had. Again, if hadn't have his brother above him playing first grade, he probably would have had a lot more games under his belt.
Yes, and Simmons indicating that he wants to take the kick here, which is probably the best option at this stage of the game, Jimmy.
Yeah, 15 minutes out. This could extend the lead to 15-0. Kyle Ward, I imagine, is on the sidelines getting ready to come back onto the fray, and it'll be 15 v 15 again.
Yeah, Kyle Ward, he was very unlucky to find some time in the bin, but now the Wanderers, they've leapt away with the lead, 12-0.
Certainly made the most of it. They've added 8 points since he's been out cooling his heels.
Well, he's got to get the kick first, Jimmy.
I'm backing him in. There you go. I'd like to be sure I win the lotto.
He takes a kick at that. The flags go up this time.
To be honest, but yes.
Well, he's got that stabbing style, hasn't he, Simmons? It doesn't look good off the boot, but he's very accurate. And that proves just why. There's the score now, goes to 15-0.
15 minutes gone. Certainly Viv Passy would be very happy with the start. Other than that first scrum, I think the rest of all, he's ticked just about every box.
So Kilmurray with the ball now. Looks to go deep and down the middle to Nathan Sherwood, who gets the ball to Simmons, and Simmons, under no pressure at all, gets the ball to the touchline. It doesn't find touch, and here comes Rockaboro. Gets around Kyle Coffey around the legs. I thought he may have used some footwork there to get around there. Big sever, but the ball inside to Dylan Amate, and now they go wide again. Looking for runners there was McNeil, but forced to take it in himself. And here's Big Sever again, taking them up towards the 40.
Again, this time was Nathan Sherwood around his bootlaces. I think they worked out last year. There's no point going high on him as big Fave Silla makes
nice run, isn't it?
Run. Still going.
The Silla now gets them about 30 out. They go short side. And Ward looks like he's back on the field on the far side, and he's driven into the ground by this Wanderers defensive line. Here's Lamont now. He'll tuck it under his wing and try and take the team forward. This is better play by the Hawks as Ferry under a lot of pressure there. McNeil steps back inside towards his forwards, and he's cut down. Still outside the 22, but that is a penalty there, and I would say that would be for offside.
Yeah, he played a fairly long advantage there, Drew Tonks, but early discretion was 4 or 5 phases away. You think they would certainly open their account here with some points on the board as, yes, Steve Lamont looks towards the post, but no, they go again. They're looking to make the most of their opportunity down this end. They're backing themselves, they're backing their line out, and they're backing their forwards.
Yeah, Ferry That's a nice touch finder there, getting them about 10 metres out. Will they set up for the maul here? They're a very good exponent of it. As the ball goes up, not the best off the top, and Paulson takes it and they go down.
Pretty well defended there by Wanderers. The throw didn't help. They disrupted the rhythm of the Hawks. They come back on the inside. Looks like Sam Hayes.
Sam Hayes. Nice run there as Lamont now takes them forward. This is where they're dangerous. This is where they lift here, the Hamilton Hawks. They pick up off the back.
Looks like another penalty coming. His arm out again, Drew Tonks.
Yeah, the arm's out.
If someone goes to the bin here soon. That's 2 in the red zone. 1 more and we could find someone.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a chat now, is Tonks. Oh, he's showing him the card.
Straight up.
Domkins is coming to the touchline now. The yellow card comes out, and I thought maybe one more warning. I didn't see them get warned before, but professional foul. And he's going to have some time in the naughty corner.
I think we'd rather see a bit of footy played. There was nothing from the naked eye from out here. There didn't look anything to be too...
It's a leveller. That's what they call a leveller, Jimmy.
Didn't seem to be stopping a try-scoring opportunity. It was only 2 penalties in the red zone. But, to be fair, Hamilton probably a bit unlucky to have someone spend 10 in the bin early on. Unless my ruling is totally wrong, and there's every chance that's right.
That's a square up. It's a square up, Jimmy. I'm not afraid to say it. As we go now, Ferry with the ball. The scrum by Hamilton's dominant. Tonks wants them to come back up. He's not happy with it.
I think they might go for a push over here. 5 metres out, assert their authority. Put a dagger in the hearts of the Wanderers front row straight up. I'd be surprised if they don't put a shove on at least. Yeah,
they'll definitely put a shove on. And Rockabora, we know he's very good at the back, controlling that ball. They're probably a little bit too far out, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'd suggest Rockabora's had a look at Josh McCormack. They're just standing one out on the right side of the, or the left side of the Wanderers fence, right side of attack. He's probably got his eye straight for him, thinking, you're small, I'm big. I think I know the result.
It'll be interesting to see which way they go, and the Wanderers really have to dig in here and hold this Hamilton scrum. And here they go. It's collapsed, and the ball comes to the back. They'll have to get it out, and Rockabora does just that. And he's brought down a couple of metres out. And Tilse goes for the line, and Tilse is over. Nice run, nice line there by Gareth Tilse. He saw the little gap opened up, the littler man on the big man, and he was over for a try in the 20th minute. First points there for the Hawks. They've been down this end for the better part of 5 to 10 minutes.
It was pretty predictable, that one, wasn't it? You could see they just got their ascendancy at the scrum, and while they went down, they played on. Rockabora came within a metre or so, and then it was open territory there for Gareth Tilse. As you said, big men on small men. Got his body positioned nicely in through the defence. And a pretty fundamental try, to be honest.
As the game goes on and mistakes start being made, you'd have to think that Hamilton may get the ascendancy, especially with this scrum not really functioning for the Wanderers at the moment.
No, they do have a couple of in reserve. I know Ben Christensen, we mentioned earlier in the call, only played 3rd grade. First game.
He did play second grade as well.
Second grade as well. He's a New South Wales country prop, so they may try and get 10 or 15 minutes out of him, I suggest.
And that one goes wide.
Murray misses that one.
Yeah, it goes wide, so the score remains 15-5 in favour of the two Blues. They have the head start here at Passmore Oval. But you can feel that it's a Hamilton Hawks slowly fighting back.
The Wanderers haven't had any possession in the last 5 minutes, have they? It seems to be that when you get two quality teams like this, if you have 5 or 6 or 7 minutes of possession, you generally come away with some points. And that's how this one has played out in the opening 15 minutes, as Josh McCormack looks to put this one high by the look of it. He gives a signal to his outside man.
Yeah, he goes deep and high. It's a good-looking kick, but probably too deep there, and no pressure by the two Blues as the kick goes towards that halfway line. Simmons looking for the quick one.
Yeah, clearly a tactic of both teams, isn't it, from the restarts? They're looking to go long, and they're relying on, they're backing on the fact that if they kick out, they're not going to get past halfway, so they're going to gain a territorial advantage plus get the ball.
So it's a Wanderers throw. We haven't seen them at the line out too much.
sloppy
on their own ball. It was pretty sloppy. Sherwood struggles to get down to it, and now they're going to have to pick and drive. No, they go with a short pass, and McKillop.
He's got him held up here. I think Joe Ackersdyke around the ball. He's going to do well to get to the ground.
I don't think that ball's going to come out. The advantage obviously being played there to the Hawks.
Very technical, isn't he, Drew Tonks? He only just gone to ground and he's blown it up straight away, knowing that Joe Ackersdyke had wrapped the ball up.
Well, he's part of this Elite Pathways program for the referees as well. So,
yeah, my understanding was I was told that he's actually moving to Sydney or moving to Brisbane to further his refereeing career. He's a podiatrist in town, and I understand has left that practice to obviously he might take it up wherever he goes next. But my understanding is, he's looking to further himself as a referee, which is good.
I need some orthotics too, so we'll keep plugging away, and that flat foot of mine might get fixed.
Keep plugging him, mate. Keep plugging him. He's doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, it's always good to see.
Wanderers scrum just holding up there, but Hamilton certainly not putting as much pressure on as they did in that last 5 as they shifted a little bit wide.
Yeah, here comes Vasagotti. Vasagotti, Dallin Amante. He is out wide. Billy Coffey forced to turn, and Simmons gets in his way, passes off that time to Hayes, and Hayes is brought down in the end. That's a better passage of play there with the man advantage there. The Hawks now look dangerous as the ball goes to McNeil. He goes wide to Peter Backridge. 200 games as he takes them forward into midfield.
Another penalty coming here, I think. He's got his playing advantage again.
McNeil with the ball on the inside. Oh, that's a great tackle there by McCormick, but the advantage was played. But he absolutely cut him in half, didn't he, there? As we'll look at the replay here. McCormick, not known for his defence. He came in and put everything in that one, but it's a Hamilton penalty.
Rather than take the gift 3 points, they've taken the scrum here, Hamilton. They're making their intentions very clear. And for mine, that's the 10th penalty in 20 minutes of football to date. So 6-4 the count at the moment as Pete Maxwell comes to the sideline with a bit of claret coming from his melon.
And Sione comes on the field, so they're not really missing anything. If anything, probably some fitness with Maxwell coming from the field.
Steve Lamont will go to hooker, and obviously Sione will pack out blind side.
Yeah, looks to maybe be getting a forearm or wrist looked at on the touchline there.
Well, I thought he had a bit of claret coming from somewhere when he came off. So he's a hard man, Pete Maxwell. It's probably multiple things.
He certainly does love his rugby, that's for sure. I could think of nothing worse getting up on a Sunday at the age of 39 and being sore all over.
Well, I'm sore all over without playing rugby. Big scrum, this one for Wanderers. They need to show a bit of mettle here.
Yeah, this is a good scrum by the Hawks, though, and Rockaboro tries to control with the back, and now it goes to Vasagotti. Steps off his right. He's very fast on his feet. It's Visa Vasagotti. And that ball comes to the back. Lamont now takes it forward.
Very close, Lamont.
Yeah, he's half a metre from the touchline as they look to pick and drive. Backridge looking to snare one there on his 200th game.
Bodies everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, the ball's got to come out.
Rockaboro's got his hands on it. He's only going one way. Good defence there.
Yeah, they get nice and low, the Wanderers' defence. Just impeded a little bit by that umbrella.
Steve Sione.
Yeah, Sione gets over. No, he doesn't. He's short. Drew Tonks looked like he was coming around. And
yeah, the Hawks thought they'd scored there. A good touch.
Yeah, the touch judge says it's a try. Yes, it's a try. So Tonks was coming around. I thought he was going to award the try first up. He must have been pushed back there, back over the line. And the Wanderers not happy with Tonks' decision, but it's going to stand as a try. So they've got themselves back in this game, the Hamilton Hawks.
It's come from their scrum, hasn't it? That's where their confidence comes. It's come from that very first scrum. The first one went down. Since then, we've had 2 penalties against Wanderers and a couple of shoves where they've just crumbled. It's a repeat of the grand final. As I said, it was the talking point coming into this game. Wanderers were confident that their scrum was much better. They had some new personnel in there, but they were confident they would at least be able to hold their own. But to date, we haven't seen that. It's been one-way traffic.
Yeah, they do look good when they keep it nice and tight. They look a little bit disjointed out wide still.
Yeah, but still, you can see them growing in confidence from that scrum. All of a sudden, they're getting on the front foot. They're starting to find some space. They're beating the first tackle, and that's coming from the set piece.
So Kilmurray with a tough task out wide. His radar doesn't seem to be functioning too well today.
Well, I didn't know he could kick until this season. He's one of those kids that he seems to apply himself. Remember when he first came along to Wanderers as a 14-year-old, all of a sudden he decided he wanted to be a boxer and became a state amateur champion boxer. And then he went away to uni and all of a sudden became a bike rider and went to college in America and was riding bikes, doing tours. And then he came back here and all of a sudden he's a rugby player. Whatever he puts his mind to, he achieves it. I'm sure by the end of the season he'll be probably kicking them at 70 or 80%.
Well, he hooked that one, so the score remains the same. 10 trailing 15, the two Blues. There's a try in it now here at Passmore Oval. As McCormick gets a high one, that's a better restart. As Ackersdyke goes up and takes a lovely catch there. Lamont looking for it, gets it, passes to Rockabora, who looks to go out the back. And in the end, he shoves it on to McNeil, and McNeil takes them forward. Now, pick and drive here, the Hawks. Just testing this Wanderers defensive line. It's been good so far,
Of course,
especially around this midfield area.
Yeah, well, they're still down a man down to 14 men, so the Hawks have certainly capitalised on that extra advantage. 14 men, they've scored 2 tries in the past 8 or so minutes. He must be close to coming back on. I think he's doing some stretches on the sideline. Again, another penalty, which takes the penalty count to 7-4.
Yeah, the two Blues really have let themselves down in the discipline over the last 15 minutes or so, and the Hawks have managed to get themselves back in this match.
I see Donkin's about to come back on to the field after his stint in the bin. He'll be looking to make amends for those 2 tries he's conceded. Might add a bit more timing into the scrum. He's not the biggest of... it's Nick Brady, not Donkin, sorry. He's not the biggest of players, but certainly it gives you a bit more rhythm when you're packing down with a guy you've packed down during the route rather than a number 8 or someone from the side coming in.
Now the ball goes wide, Kilmurray. He passes this time to Sione, and Sione is met around the legs again, so they counter-ruck here, the two Blues, and this is very good stuff as Ackersdyke reaches for it. Sherwood tries to reach for it again himself, but that's going to be a Wanderers scrum, so nice work at the breakdown there by the two Blues. As we see now, it'll be scrum time. The referee, Drew Tonks, wants to move it out of that cricket pitch. Coleman claimed to have the covers on all week, but
She'd be a bit dewy out there. I think they'll be kicking up off a good length if you're coming off the wrong one today. Tennis ball bounce, a bit of hit and pop.
So Wanderers scrum. This will be
back to its full contingent now. So
a big test here for the two Blues.
Yeah, they need some ball. They haven't had their hands on the ball in the last 10 minutes. Backs are getting a bit antsy out here.
Yes, it is a back line that loves to get its hands on the ball. No, good scrum again.
Better scrum this time, yeah.
Both sides this time up for the challenges. They cut out McDonald, go to Roundy. Roundy with a bit of space, tries to bump off Hayes there, out wide, but...
Yeah, good run from Dylan Roundy. He's had a great start to this game. He's getting over that ad line. He's getting good, clean, recycled ball too. Again, that was Ben Ham this time. They come back to the left.
Yeah, McDonald this time under a bit of pressure. There. Yeah, they were up quick, and be interesting to see if anything comes of it. Rockabora again, looking for the big hit on McKillop again.
Finished the worst of that one.
Yeah, he doesn't look good. We may see the blue card come out. And that's an inside ball to Sherwood. Sherwood, can't find Ham, who was looming to his left.
Rockabora still down on his haunches.
The ball comes out the back. They go to the right now. McDonald's outside, and McKillop can't get a ball away. And if all things going well, that ball was knocked down.
Yeah, they had a couple of backs out there. It was game over, wasn't it? But there's a couple of forwards on the right-hand side, and Joe Ackersdyke did well to come up. Or it might have been Kyle Ward, the other blonde winger, came up and got his hand and interfered, did enough to force a knock on.
Yeah, Rockabora certainly came off second best. He hasn't got up yet. And
no, he's in a bit of strife, I think.
The big man takes a lot to cut him down, so...
Doug McKillop, equally big, but not... taking a couple of deep breaths there. Seva.
Of course, the NHRU trialling the blue card rule up here on behalf of the AAU, which is a good initiative. We'll see if it comes out. The touch judge certainly having a chat.
Yeah, it's a...
As we look at the replay here.
It's a lot of responsibility to put on a referee, I find, unless they're clearly knocked out. I mean, you know straight up if someone's clearly knocked out, but it certainly puts a lot of responsibility on the referee. I know it's all done with player welfare, but...
Well, he seems to be going back into the attack. Must have been a shoulder.
I wouldn't like to be telling Seva Rockabora that he's got to go off if he felt, if he was in his the right capacities. His faculties were all functioning. I certainly wouldn't be suggesting he might want to go and have a spell for 11 days. Because it's not just off the
that's
rest
right,
of the field. It's an 11-day break, but you can't do any contact, you can't do any training. You've basically got to legs up and take a rest.
Well, he's one of the most senior players in the competition. Yeah. Maybe he'd enjoy it.
At 38, I think he is now. We'll see if he's not 38, he's 37. Now, of course, he played 4 tests for France, played in Toulon, played in Sydney at Parramatta's, played for Drummoyne. He's had a very, very, very good career.
He's had a great career, that's for sure. And it looks like Rowan Kelly going to the touchline then. Of course, Rowan, former Central Charlestown captain coach. Yeah. Come over to the Hawks this year.
Remember, I think he started on the wing for Central and gradually made his way into the pack, but he's come straight in at number 8. I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. I mean, obviously, he'd be good with the ball in hand. He's defensively very good. I know he's done a lot of work with the Hawks in their defensive lines and their structures. Helped Scott Coleman out with that. He's the type of guy, too, that once again, you know, he said he was come to Hamilton to play lower grades and have a bit of fun, but those type of guys don't come to have a bit of fun. Once they get that competitive blood starts flowing through their body, and that's, again, another very good scrum.
Yeah, good scrum, wasn't it, by the Hawks, and that's a penalty to the Hawks, and nothing going right for the Wanderers now at the set piece. Yeah, interesting as well, Rowan Kelly, he's an IT teacher from Francis Xavier. Would be...
Yeah, I think good friends with Paulie Dan, and that's what led to the association with the Hawks. I'm sure his wife and kids were thought, oh, good, he's finished footy now. That'll be the end of it. But over here enjoying his time at Hamilton. Geez, they've got a wealth of depth, haven't they, when you consider Damien Wells played 3rd grade today, his first game back after spending a couple of years out at Wellington, playing rugby league in Group 11 for the Cowboys and also rugby union out there and doing a bit of amateur boxing from what I understand, so he's fit. They've got a wealth and a depth of talent to draw on come the business end, as we see. Yeah,
Kilmurray goes to the ground, just losing his footing there as Ackersdyke comes around the corner. Benham trying to get over him and may have crept up there in the tackle.
Jeez, his penalty count is starting to get out now.
It's penalty after penalty here, and the crowd certainly not enjoying it.
9-4 at this point, according to my stats.
Yeah, that tackle there just crept up a little bit on Ackersdyke by Ham. Nice aggressive number 8 is Ben Ham, former Anderson medal winner.
Deep from Scone originally, came down to Newcastle 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was 2014, the year Wanderers won the premiership, was also the year he won the Anderson medal as the rugby union's best and fairest player. Hamilton looked to go long here, didn't contest the 2 Blues, really given up at the set piece at present. Not much on here for Paddy Kilmoney, but he jinks inside, manages to get to the ad line.
Yeah, he does well again there, Kilmurray, and now Ferry looking for runners. They go to Vasagotti, has Dylan Amate on the outside, but around the legs again. Billy Coffey, he's done well. And here comes Sione looking to offload the ball. He gets it to Backwich, who pops the ball up to nobody, and Ackersdyke comes away with it somehow. I thought there was sure to be a turnover there, but now the Hawks looking to apply some pressure, and good counter-rucking again by the 2 Blues. It's been exceptional at the breakdown by the Wanderers club here today.
Yeah, well, they've had to aim up somewhere because their scrum and their set piece has been pretty ordinary, particularly defensively. Again, Rockabora looks like he's recovered from that earlier knock. He gets that big palm out, but doesn't get too far. Met by a wall of defence, finally gets to ground. And another penalty coming.
Another penalty, quick tap taken by Ferry, and that will be a card for Shaw as he goes into his pocket. And yes, Jackson it is, coming from the field. So
when you got a scrum going backwards, you don't need to let your hooker be sent to the sin bin. That's not good signs for the 2 Blues.
A couple of tweets coming in, got a score up. Julian Morton.
Yeah, 15-10 Morts, but the scrum's going backwards, so I imagine Hamilton will consider themselves pretty confident of reducing that gap in the next couple of minutes with, we said, Ryan Jackson going to the bin.
Of course, this game brought to you by Mascot and Wilson & Co. Go and see Greg Wilson at Wilson & Co. for all your legal needs. One of the true gentlemen of local rugby is Greg Wilson. Finds his hands full at judiciary on the appeals committee. And now, the ball going forward by the Hawks, but the maul's brought down. McNeil's screaming for the ball, and that is going to be a Wanderers feed to the scrum. So the two Blues, they're going to be under a bit of pressure here on their own line. And the Hamilton Hawks, they'll fancy their chances here of a tight head. As we see Waller now, looks like he's coming on the field. We haven't seen too much of Waller this year.
No, he's been in the Netherlands. He only arrived back last week. Today was his first game in second grade, so he's had a playing stint over there.
Interesting enough, Luke Sherwood coming from the field. So
yeah, I guess they need to put a front rower on. They need to drop a back rower. So Luke being the, I guess, the smallest, probably needs a breather too. A different sort of fitness from half back to back row, particularly in first grade.
Yeah, he's certainly puffing as he comes to the sideline.
No doubts he won't be happy about that either, knowing Luke. He wouldn't like to be considered expendable, for want of a better word. I see he just had a word with the trainer, and the trainer just put his hands up to say, not my call.
Yeah, good scrum again by Wanderers, and the two Blues somehow come up with it from the back. Now they're going to need a good exit to get themselves out of their own red zone. They've been stuck down here for now the majority of the half, as now Waller takes it from the back, picking and driving. Sherwood gets it back to Simmons, and Simmons punches that one downfield and doesn't get too much distance on it. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that kick, to be fair.
So you saw that last scrum. It was quick channel one ball straight to the number 8. He picks it up and goes, and that's how they're going to have to function if they're going to try and handle this shove from the Hawks.
Ball off the top now. McNeil looking to feed Hayes, and Hayes is met in some good defence there by Dylan Rowney, and he somehow shrugs him off, and he's still going here. Here's Hayes. That ball comes out. It's a turnover. So now there's trouble. McKillie gets it wide. Waller now looking for Marsh, and Marsh juggles the ball, and Marsh can't go with it. He saw a mile of open space, and his eyes lit up.
That's what happens when you don't have the ball for so long, and all you've been doing is defending. The backs have been calling out, and you find a little bit of open space, and you get a bit anxious, and you want to hit the fast forward button, but you've got to get your hands on the ball first.
Yeah, just there on the replay we saw, under really no pressure, was Tim Marsh. He's one of the best finishers in the game. He had a bit to do, but he's so good, so quick. He changes directions at speed, and he's very hard to bring down.
He just glides over the ground. It's like he runs on his toes, one of those guys. If you remember Richard Hankin that used to be here a few years ago, similar, and he was a professional runner.
I'm a Marty Hankin man, to be fair.
Yeah, probably a little bit, probably 15 metres, I reckon, in pace difference between those two. But in terms of good times, Marty would win on a night out every time.
Well, Richard has quite a few good stories as well.
Better scrum from
Ask him about the Playboy Mansion one day, Jimmy. As that ball goes to the left.
Looks like another penalty coming.
Yeah, definitely not happy is Tonks as Lamont takes it down the short side. Surely that's advantage over. Little kick over the top, and Sherwood going for it. Sherwood can't get it, and that's a try to Sione.
I'd like to have a look at that replay. He looked like he might have juggled that as he went to ground, Steve Sione, but he did enough to convince Drew Tonks that it was worthy of 5-pointer, and now all of a sudden, Hawks equal chance to go in front. It's been all of them the last 10 minutes.
It sure has. And here we go, the replay.
He's called it too, Steve Sione. You've seen he's got to get around Nathan Sherwood. He dives at it, can't quite get there. Goes to ground. Oh, not quite hard to see there, but Drew Tonks was right on the spot. Steve Sione was very confident. Here we go, we've got a different angle this time. Again, good little vision here from Ferry. Certainly the call came from Steve Sione.
He was almost offside as well, Sione.
Yeah, not convinced. I'm not sure about that put down, but it was good enough for Drew Tonks, so that's all that counts in the scorebook. And all of a sudden, Hamilton Hawks, Wanderers 15-all, kick to come.
Yeah, locking up right on the 40-minute mark here at Passmore Oval for this Rams 2017 match of the round, of course. Also brought to you by Mascot and indeed Wilson and Co. And Brett Sutherland there at Elders as well. For all your insurance need, go and see Brett. Doing a great job for local rugby. Major sponsor of the Hawks. So now, Kilmurray comes in and the ball goes towards the post, but the touch judges shake their heads, and that is going to be half-time, Jimmy. We're going to take a quick break and come back with all the action of the second half. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, everybody, here to the Rams NHRU Round 8 feature match. Of course, here with Jimmy Gardner. Jimmy, you've got a couple of scores from around the grounds for our viewers out there on Bar TV Sports.
Yeah, plenty of close games in that Round 8 of the NHRU. University currently leading Singleton 14-8. The Waratahs out at Nelson Bay are in front of the Gropers 7-0. Merewether edged ahead of Southern Beaches at Townsend 10-7. Sorry, that's not at Townsend Oval.
Out at Southern Beaches.
Southern Beaches. And Lake Macquarie 14 at Disneyland, leading Maitland 12. So all those very tight fixtures.
Yeah, it certainly is. And indeed, the entire season is tighter than we've seen over the last few years. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, the top two of these two, of course, are probably just that little bit further advanced than the rest. They've sort of shot away, but Maitland have been the big improvers. They've got some cattle in this year, 4 very handy players. The Waratahs have probably overachieved. Southern Beaches, you think, will come good, come towards the back end of the season. So there's still probably 6 or 7
Nelson Bay as well there.
Nelson Bay as well.
They've had their hands on the Hawthorn Club.
Lake Macquarie, if they can play that rumble style of rugby union, they love to. They're as good as anyone with Brendan Holliday calling the shots. So there's certainly possibly eight teams, I think, that you could say would be vying for the top 5 spots. Life might be, or University's the other one we haven't mentioned. Singleton probably at this point are the only ones who really could say that they're struggling. As we see kick off this time, Wanderers is 15 all here starting the second half. Gareth Tills picks it up, gets through 2 defenders before going to ground. Yeah,
he's had a solid game. Tills coming up with a try. The first of Hamilton's here today as Lamont runs wide and runs towards that centre pairing of the two Blues.
Certainly need to fix their discipline up, the two Blues. The penalty count was 10-4 by mine in the first half, and you just can't give a team like Hamilton that much possession. Well,
Simmons has the ball now. He's looking for McCormick, and McCormick tries to slice them up the middle, but he can't.
He hasn't had many opportunities today, Josh McCormick, since that. Well, none of the two Blues have since that opening 10 minutes, really, to be fair.
Oh, the ball comes. Oh, here's McKillop. He's looking for some space and some support, but he's brought down just over the 22. Simmons is screaming for it.
I think he's knocked it on, yeah. He's lost that as he's gone to ground there.
Unlucky there, McKillop. It just opened up for him, didn't it?
Seba Rockabora, he sort of chested him and he went to ground.
It's been an interesting clash between those two big men out there today. They've come together a couple of times. And
yeah, they're certainly the two, I guess, premier ball runners for both teams. They're the one that the rest of the teammates look to get over that ad line and give them that little bit of ascendancy. As we see Ryan Jackson again just doing some warm-ups down the sideline. He must have 2 or 3 minutes left in the bin. And of course, Hamilton with the one-man advantage in the opening exchanges of the second half. Wanderers have had 2 players sent to the bin and Hamilton 1 in the opening 40 minutes.
So the ball fed by Ferry.
Solid scrum from the Hawks.
Again just controls it at the back, and Vasagotti comes down the short side, puts it on the toe. It's uncustomary for Vasagotti. We normally see him taking on the line.
Good pick up in the end it was by...
is it Zakatala on the far side?
Yeah, Zakatala's gone, so we might have an issue with that wing. Can't see Tim Marsh at this point.
Yeah, Tim Marsh looks like he's come from the field, so he will be missed. No, Marsh is on the right side, so Billy Coffey may have come from the field. Anyway, we'll get our producers to sort it out for us. And that comes over the top, bounces way over the head. So now the Hawks through Vasagotti have all the opportunity to go over for another try. They're calling for it out wide. McNeil throws the long ball out to Tills, but Ward gets in the way and Ward can't get through and take it to the 22. Kilmurray this time loses his footing again. We've seen it a couple of times by the inside centre. And Kyle Ward tracks back toward that centre field. And that's a penalty there to the Hawks. And you think they'll probably go for the line? No, they could take the quick one as Ferry. And it's
getting a bit fiery in there. Frustration starting to take their toll on the two Blues. They can't get back into this game. They exploded into it. Basically, the last 25 minutes of the first half, they've just been defending and backpedaling.
Yeah, Ferry there was laid down by, I think, McDonald. Backridge took offence to it. Nothing in it, really. Ben Ham
needs to get control there, Luke Simmons. It's going to be a test of his leadership. His team are under the pump at the moment. They're under the cosh. They're doing all the defending. They can't get a call to go their way. Somehow they need to disrupt the rhythm here. The
That's a very good
has
kick,
switched,
isn't it?
And they need to somehow find a way of disrupting the momentum, because certainly the Hamilton Hawks are just grinding them out of the game at present.
Well, they're going to have to dig deep here, the two Blues, because the Hamilton Hawks, they haven't got the driving maul.
They're still down to 14 men too. Forward down, the two Blues.
Oh, that's a good take there by Tills as they bind on. The Hawks defending well, but they reset here, and Siani's at the back there, and it's looking ominous now for the two Blues. Siani still bound on the back. He's close. He's going to go over, is he? Yo, it's a penalty.
Truck and trailer, I think he's ruled here.
He's brought it back. Great defence there on the line by the two Blues, denying the Hamilton Hawks of a certain try there.
Yeah, they needed that, the two Blues. Steve Siani scores there, and you think the damn walls might burst. Not happy about the call either, Steve Lamont. They do a lot of work on their rolling wall. He just felt that I think there was an obstruction from the back, weren't connected.
Yeah, we saw on the replay there, definitely truck and trail. And again, the kick from Simmons probably didn't get the distance that he would have liked, but the wind here certainly has picked up in this second half. As you see the touch judge flag back in the breeze. Waller has come from the field now, back to the full complement.
Yeah, Ryan Jackson back in to throw this line out. He's been very good at the line out with his throwing. He certainly looks like he's a specimen. He's a good footballer. We haven't seen him in open spaces yet, and obviously the scrum hasn't functioned as Wanderers would like, but in open play he looks pretty good.
He hasn't had too much opportunity to run the ball, but he won our man of the match there by Dus Hunthouse a couple of weeks ago. And Sherwood's forced to dive on that, so again, the pressure. They're putting themselves under a lot here, the two Blues, and that one kicked downfield. Doesn't find touch, but finds Vasagotti, who has Dylan Amate on the outside. He dummies and goes himself and makes about 30 metres on the run.
Rarely gets taken down by the first tackler.
Yeah, very good on his feet.
Always beats the first man.
Kilmurray goes up and finds the Wanderers' defence tiring there, and Ferry goes behind and looking for his wingers, but they're going to put some pressure now on the Wanderers' line out again.
He's been very good, Ferry, today, doesn't he? His decision-making's been good. He's given his backs to service when they wanted. His chips over the top and in behind have been effective. It helps, I guess, when you're working behind a forward pack that's giving you a little bit of space.
Yeah, very, very strong forward pack, this Hamilton side. And the two Blues have done well to keep it at 15 apiece.
Looks as though Pete Maxwell's possibly not coming back onto the field. He's still got his kit on, but he doesn't look like he's readying himself to get back into the action. So Steve Siani will play out this game.
Nice little run there by Sherwood. But they get caught there with the ball, the two Blues, and Atala takes the ball in. Sherwood had no runners. Now he looks for Ham.
Yeah, I don't think they can just kick their way out of this. I think they need to do this. It's probably a good option by them. They need some ball in here. They need to suck some energy out of the Hawks.
Well, Simmons this time going for the kick, and that is a better kick by the fly half. Bounces away from Vasagotti, but in the end, bounces up into his hand. He shows and goes, and if he didn't lose his footing there, it would have been interesting. They go towards the right, and McNeil offloads to Ackersdyke, and Ackersdyke
they're a bit bunched here at the moment, the Hawks. They've just got to get around the corner. Looks like some counter-rucking there from Wanderers, trying to steal that pill, but they have got it.
Yeah, good turnover there by the Wanderers. This is the best field position they've had for the better part of 30 minutes. And Rowney now out wide. We know he's good on his feet. He's quick. Oh, Rockabora comes over the top. And Rowney, he's as tough as teak. Dylan Rowney.
Yeah, since
the
he's
ball
come back
comes
from
over. Is it a turnover there?
Badly broken leg. He hasn't put a foot wrong, has he, once he's got his confidence back?
Yeah, poor turnover there by the two Blues in the end.
Tim Marsh, good take, finds Luke Simmons.
McDonald with the big dummy there. As Lamont takes him down and Backrich doesn't stick. He's elusive, the GM for the Wanderers Club. And that's a penalty, first one in a long while for the two Blues.
Yeah, they certainly need this. The first time, I think, in the Hamilton Hawks half they will be from this kick since probably the 15-minute mark in the first half. So a rare opportunity to launch an attack.
Nice kick towards touch by Simmons, and that gets them up towards the 22. So now the two Blues, we saw how dangerous they were early on in that first half. attacking the red zone. Their back line looks to be set very deep. And that comes off the top nicely.
Again,
Tonks
penalty.
Going for the penalty.
I
So
thought it might have been a poor line out for execution, but
if I was the Wanderers, what would you be doing? Kicking for line?
yeah, for sure. No, it looks like he's.
Yeah, I think it wasn't straight.
I think we misread his penalty signal. It looked like a penalty that he awarded, but it was a arm out for an incorrect throw. A rare mistake by Ryan Jackson. He's normally, as soon as I give him a rap, he makes me look like a fool. 15 all. 10 minutes into the second half here on the top of the table clash. Both teams unbeaten. The Hawks' only blemish was a 14-all draw with Maitland in round 2.
It's a similar game, actually, to that Maitland game, which we covered here for Bar TV. Hawks came out really uninspired, and they've clawed their way back, and it was close to the end. So it's 15 all here.
The Wanderers, of course, unbeaten all the way. I think Waratah, the last game, 26-18 is the closest any team's come to them, and that was a bit of an arm wrestle in wet conditions. This one, conditions haven't been too bad. Obviously, that cricket pitch area is made for some difficult footing, but outside of that, I don't think that we've had too many quails. Haven't seen too much spilt ball. Some players trying to step and losing their footing, but other than that, it's been pretty good rugby.
So the ball comes in. Lamont doing well on the side of the scrum as Ferry gets a wide ball, and that's a knock on, and that is a bad mistake, and it could prove costly here for the Hawks.
It is in your red zone. Yes, Sam Hayes, I think it was, just had a little bit of a look there. The defence came up, brushed up, got in his face, and he heard him coming, had a look, and put the ball to ground. I think it was too difficult to pass. It was certainly a little bit high, but I think that raised his eye level up to see the men that were coming at him. So big scrum this one for Wanderers. They need to set a solid platform here. As we said, nice quick channel one ball. Number 8, pick it up. Ham, take a man or two with him. Get over the ad line. Looks like Nick Brady's come to the sideline for the two Blues, and there's a replacement going on in the second row.
Yeah, didn't quite catch the number there for the replacement, so...
Looks like the 17's gone to the side, so...
Sherwood with the ball. The Wanderers scrum going backwards. And Luke Sherwood, hands in the air, saying, come on.
I think he was calling on Pete Backridge, so I wanted to have a look at this side. Backridge looked to be coming into a slight angle there, and Simon Yanis got himself in an uncomfortable position, the Wanderers tight head. I reckon you're a front row and you look down and you look at Pete Backridge and you probably think, I'm going to have an easy day today. But my word, does he give you a surprise or two? He's
put on a bit of bulk as well.
Yeah, he punches a fair pack for a small man in the world of front rowers, put it that way.
They're definitely technically
nice
astute,
and square,
though, isn't he?
He's got nice back position.
Knows
there,
all
nice
the tricks.
Straight. Even then you see Yanis has got that little bow on his back.
It's a pleasure to watch, isn't it? Short arm. Sherwood drops the ball, goes for the quick one.
It's just not happening
and
for Wanderers in the second half at this point.
Is a big mistake there. His eyes lit up. They had space out wide, the two Blues, and in the 52nd minute, I dare say a young Sherwood will be reviewing the video and shaking his head on that one.
Yeah, you want them to be on the front foot. They need to play up tempo. They need to find a bit of space. If they're in an arm wrestle with Hamilton, they're not going to win that one. They need to play up tempo. They need to find some space. But yeah, you just got to be clinical with your execution.
Those Compass Editions, one of our major sponsors here on Bar TV Sports. Go and see Cal and the boys.
It's going to be gloomy and a bit dark here. The lights have come on at Passmore Oval. There's some heavy cloud to the south. As yet, no rain, thankfully. Again, rock solid scrum from the Hawks. They're just flexing their muscles there. They're not even putting in. They come the short side.
Yeah, to the right was probably the better option if they wanted to run it and kill Murray.
Yeah, handy kick with his left boot there.
Well, he's left-footed.
Had the off break going and it just rolled into touch. Wanderers have got to come up with a way to disrupt this rhythm, disrupt this momentum. They're playing into the Hawks' hands at present. They're just going through the motions, grinding them into the ground. Ryan Jackson takes his throw in for the two Blues.
Yeah, Jackson has it again. The two Blues, they were looking to put some pressure on, and now they find themselves back down the other side of the field, and the steal at the line out by the Hamilton Hawks. A nice work by Akersdyke, and McNeil catching the ball on the fly and has to take it in himself. And here's Sione. He's been good since he's been on, as is this man, Rockaboro. Jackson struggles to hang on to the leg, and coming over the top there was Ben Ham. Here's Backrich passing the ball, and Akersdyke's dealt with midfield there.
It's Tommy Email that's come off the bench, fresh legs. He'll certainly provide some energy and some starch. Oh, through the legs, Steve Sione. A party trick to Farley Silla.
There's Silla going towards the line. What about that? Sione now on the short side. Ferry goes back towards Lamont, who gives himself up, but Tonk says play on. Everybody stopped.
Bar the referee.
Picking and driving. Now that's probably the first time he hasn't blown the whistle here today, Jimmy.
Again, they're piling the pressure on here, the Hawks. Ball at the back. It's a bit scrappy now. Wanderers trying to disrupt this.
Yeah, but this is where they're dangerous here. They have very good discipline. Oh, the ball comes out to Simmons. Simmons dummies. Gets a kick away in the end. Nice skill shown by Simmons. Now Ward looking to play on quickly. They do so. Oh, good chase there, McNeil. He was aware to it as Rowney, I think it was, coming through. They go short side. Here comes Vasagotti with plenty of space, and Vasagotti scores!
Again, great vision from Matt Ferry. He's had a pretty good game. Very good game, in fact.
Yeah, certainly. He's highly underrated, I think, Ferry, and he saw the space. Vasagotti was coming. He ran from about the 40-metre line. But the touch judge is having a chat here to Tonks. So this may even be reversed. I didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah, they look like they're coming back. There's no.
He's called the try. We have a look at the replay here, and good awareness shown there by McNeil as Rowney really loomed up on him. Vasagotti, yeah. Ben Ham couldn't get near him. Simmons couldn't get near him. Yeah, I don't know what the...
Yeah, I don't know what he was arguing about. That looked pretty clinical for mine. There was no issue. Didn't look like he went to touch. There was no obstruction. There was nothing untoward that I could see.
Well, it's a try. And the Hawks hit the lead for the first time here today at Passmore Oval. It's round 8, the Rams, NHRU. The feature match. It's been an arm wrestle.
We'll get a good look at this kick, although it's obviously not from his preferred side, being a left footer. Paddy Kilmurray. Picture of concentration as he goes through the routine.
As he comes in, yeah, and that one has a bit of fade on it, but...
Not as much as my golf swing, unfortunately for him. And stays true to the line.
Yeah, he had it set up as well for aiming for that far post, but on his left side, he probably needs to move the ball around. Not that I'm a goal kicker, but I'm an angles man, Jimmy. As there'll be a restart, the Wanderers taking their time to get back. 2015. So the restart by McCormick again. It's a good one. Everybody up for it. Tills goes up for it, but the Wanderers come down with it. Waller was going for it. A nice counter-rucking again, and Silla shrugging off, but it's stolen there by, it was Sherwood. Oh, nice set move there by the Wanderers. McDonald almost through. Good interchange of passing. Ben Ham getting involved there.
Jackson now takes the ball up from the back, pops it out.
Yeah, nice little pop, wasn't it?
Dylan Rowney in there sniffing, looking for a half a gap to inject himself.
Here comes McDonald. McDonald doesn't have many options, but he straightens up. Tries to get through.
They need a pick and drive here. They need to keep putting the pressure on you. Go through.
Yeah, they need some patience here as the arm goes up. Sherwood pops the pass to Waller.
I think there's a penalty.
And the ball goes out. Yeah, the penalty was certainly coming.
That's 3-2 to Wanderers finally in front in the penalty count in the second half.
in front. Do they take the kick for goal here, Jimmy?
I certainly wouldn't be taking the scrum, put it that way. I might be taking a
tap.
Or no, I'd go the points. You come down here, you need to get something. You know, you get a reward for doing the effort to get into this half. It's the first time they've been deep in their half in this second 40 minutes. And yes, Luke Simmons points to the sticks.
It could be a case of kicking being the difference here today.
Yeah, well, Paddy Kilmurray's none from 4 at present. And,
Simmons has missed the one.
Missed the one. Or he added 1 penalty. This you would think he could virtually throw over to bring the score back to 2018 with 20 minutes
Still
remaining.
20 to go, and it could be a bit of a momentum shifter, as they say.
Exactly. That's what they need. They need to get Hamilton out of this grind. At the moment, they're just methodical in the way they do things.
And the flags go up, as you'd expect. And the score, 2018. So the game definitely still in the balance here at Passmore Oval. And it has got really dark, hasn't it, all of a sudden?
Yeah, the lights on here starting to certainly show effect.
Someone get me a carrot because I can hardly see.
Been a pretty physical contest. You can see both teams sucking them in, taking their time to get to the restarts.
Yeah, well, we thought the Wanderers took their time last time. Hamilton almost on Fiji time out there, Jimmy. That one goes downfield, and Ward comes up with it, and Ward is driven into the touchline by Ben Ham. What about that? That is the hit of the day. He was in full flight, the winger, and Ben Ham came out of nowhere. Let's look at the replay here. Great take by Ward. Eyes on the ball, but he did not have eyes on Ben Ham.
Yeah, crunch. That's the last thing you want as a winger. You think, I've taken this ball, I'm in a bit of space, then back go. I'm not sure what the touch judge is talking to the referee about. Surely that was
just a clean hit.
He had shoulder in it. He had arms. It was.
Yeah, surely nothing goes in. That's a perfect hit.
Chest. That is. Yeah,
that is textbook stuff. That will make the highlight reel. That's for sure on Bar TV Sports.
I'll tell you what, it's not going to make the highlight rule if the touch judge has a word here, and this goes against the two Blues. This will be an absolutely diabolical decision. Or is he talking to him about he's called the two captains out?
There was a bit of a scuffle. It's getting a bit spiteful, but
as long as it's not to do with that tackle, I don't mind. If they found something else, fair enough. But if they found indiscretion in that tackle, it's certainly both captains getting a stern talking to. Maybe there's a bit of chitter chat between the players towards the linesman, but Stephen Lamont saying.
The referee's not mic'd up here today.
Yes, sir. 3 bags full, sir.
In any case.
Be a penalty to Wanderers by the look of it, is it? Yeah. Again, not sure that was for, but.
Yeah, the push. There was a push. I mean.
It is rugby, isn't it? I'm just checking. We're not over at number 1 sports ground playing Aussie rules or playing netball at National Park. Anyhow,
there's probably more pushing in netball at this stage, judging by this game.
Of course, a big game tonight. The greater West Sydney Giants, where Sam Pullman, Newcastle girl, in the heart of defence, up against the, I think it's Sunshine Coast Lightning in the final of the Super Netball.
Yeah, two sides that probably weren't expected to go that well. And that was not straight, and the crowd agrees. And it's been brought back as the call came from the touch judge. It was about half a metre to the left there.
Mate, it was circa 2004 Wanderers second grade Jay Gardner throwing a line out. I'll be complaining the wind got it. In fact, it's just me struggling for breath.
At Maitland, it never went straight at Maitland.
No, never did. Particularly in front of the grandstand over there. And didn't they let you know it?
They certainly did.
Put that in the paper, Gardner. Yeah, thanks. Haven't heard that before. Anyhow, back to the live action. Scrum halfway. Hamilton
Ferry
in front, 20-18.
Ferry with the ball again. The Hamilton scrum holds solid as you'd expect. McNeil stands wide. Has Ward coming around, and Ward turns back inside. And there's a bit of space, and he is dealt with again. He's copped a couple of big tackles.
I think that was Tom
as young Ward.
That time, yeah. Here comes Rockabora charging onto it. Bends the defensive line, gets his head through. Again, they go to the right.
Yeah, they go right. McNeil running the ball.
Yeah, shows and goes.
I'd like to see him give the ball a little bit more, McNeil, and keep them second guessing. He's been a little bit one-dimensional here today. As Bakarich now gets the ball out to Lamont, and Lamont steps off his left. And
again, he's been good as you expect. I never see him have a bad game, Steve Lamont.
No.
Well, this is Sonny.
Nicely taken. Sonny's come on the field.
He's first came back from a hamstring injury. Former New South Wales Country Centre, come down from Walker. He finds them anywhere, Bubba, doesn't he?
He does.
He has the best scouting network in the league. Of course, he was in the countryside last year where Scott Coleman was the assistant coach. He wanted to play a better brand of footy or a higher level of footy, and Scotty said,
well, here he is, and there he goes.
I know the club for you.
There he goes. And
again, they come to the left.
McNeil now looking for Vasagotti, and Vasagotti goes without it. It goes forward by the referee and touch judge.
Yeah, just the timing a little bit out there. That one went over his shoulder. Wanderers now starting to get a little bit of confidence from their defence.
Yeah, the defence
haven't had many opportunity from the ball. Obviously, their set piece has struggled.
The defence always a highlight for the two Blues.
Again, another big set piece here. Jackson will be wanting to make amends for his last couple of poor throws with a nice rock-solid scrum. Needs Dave Waller to provide a good anchor at loose head. Yeah,
Waller certainly a very good scrummager. He's in the mould of Pete Bakarich, actually, isn't he?
He's probably carrying a little bit more weight than Pete. He's probably a couple of inches on him as well. It'll be interesting to see whether he's benefited from playing a season in the Netherlands. I imagine they do a fair bit of scrummaging over there.
Sherwood and Ferry having a little pushing.
The two halfbacks going at it like two
whippets, isn't it?
Silky terriers, I was going to suggest.
Oh, yeah, nice. I'll run with that too. Silky terriers, indeed.
I know Nathan Sherwood's certainly got a little bit of cheek in him, and I imagine Matt Ferry does as well.
Ferry's got a bit of lip on him as well. I mean, what halfback doesn't?
True. Worth their salt anyway. The quiet halfback's normally a poor halfback, aren't they?
Like a skinny chef, Jimmy. Ball comes in.
Again. Going early is the call.
Yeah,
Nathan
Wanderers
Sherwood
lucky.
Goes the quick tap. This time he gets it right. Simmons to Cal McDonald. Looking for some space on the outside. Across comes Marsh. They find a little bit now.
Yeah, McCormick has Atala on the outside, and Atala steps into touch. So
it's a little bit
probably would have been better not advancing the ball that last pass there, but better stuff, more positive stuff here by the two Blues. I thought they were lucky to get away with that scrum.
Exactly.
Penalty there.
Dave Waller went straight down on this side, but yeah, they just needed someone to come back in on the angle then or to straighten it up. It was just a little bit too sideways, banking on getting outside them rather than, oh, that's a crooked throw as well.
Ball comes off the top. No, he lets that one go. The touchy on the far side says play on, not as strict on his angles. And that ball by Jackson now to Ham, and Ham
looks to do a bit of ball playing, Jackson. I want to see him charged up. He's got a big body. I reckon he could bend it.
Yeah, no, that's why he got man of the match the other week. He made about 4 line breaks for that very reason, Jimmy. And now this man makes a plenty himself, was Marsh. Around the corner. Sherwood looking for runners. Here's Big McKillop again. He's had a good game.
I'm not sure he's performed too well in the front row, but in terms of the field, he's certainly got him over the ad line every time.
Oh, Cal McDonald ducks under a high shot there. The ball goes free, and Hamilton now have the ball.
Just a bit scrappy this last 5 minutes from both teams.
Well, the Wanderers turn the ball over again. And that's going to be a Hamilton feed to the scrum. So, 67 minutes down, the score 20-18. Wanderers probably playing for the penalty there as well. So, again, they're letting them down.
Need to go back to a bit of structure to get work for not just every phase. Look at 3 or 4 phases ahead. Get some pick and drive going. Suck in some defenders before then letting this electric back line of theirs find some space. Ben Ham looks like he's coming to this touch line to get some attention, some water.
Yeah, a bit of
water.
Very
least. Might have a bit of mud in the eye. He's got through an enormous amount of work as he does.
Yeah,
every
you
week.
mentioned Lamont never having a bad game. I'm of the same opinion of Ben Ham.
Looks like he's moved into the second row as well, so he's doing the hard yards today.
Yeah, number 8's never like getting themselves into the second row, do they?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Oh, that's a penalty to the Hawks. This time Tonks gets it right.
Only count 4-3 to Wanderers in the second half. Certainly not the one-way traffic it was in the first, where the penalty count was 10-4. Ferry looks to nudge this into Wanderers territory. Does a good job.
Yeah, nice job there by Ferry. So
Pete Packridge, the first man for the line-out, as per script.
yeah, he's a fit prop forward, isn't he? Certainly hasn't popped up for a try yet here today. But
on short here, the Hawks, four-man line-out. A variation we haven't seen to date. Rocket Bora
out wide. And bounces from Ackersdyke. So McKillop has it now, and Backridge goes up on him. Gets them up over halfway. Can the two Blues get themselves 50 metres down the field and score a try? As Atala gets the ball wide and he's taken to ground.
McKillop has schoolboy pedigree. He went to the Southport School and went to school with James Slipper's brother and James O'Connor's brother. Won a GPS title up there.
There was Jackson there with a run, and Waller gets the ball to Marsh, and Marsh forced to do something in a poor pass by the prop forward. And Ham now takes it forward, and that is a good settling run there by the two Blues. And now
another.
Sherwood digging for the ball, and that's a penalty. And McCormick has put his hand up there. Hits in kicking distance for McCormick.
I was going to say probably just outside the radar for Luke Simmons. He's 40 metres sort of from in front, pulls him up short.
Is he going to take the shot, Simmons?
He's thinking about it. No.
I think she's asking there, give us 10 metres for the back chat.
Interesting there that Steve Lamont had a good chat to Drew Tonks. Want to get some clarity around that penalty was for.
Well, this is where Hamilton have to watch themselves. Discipline-wise, they've been very good in the penalty department.
And they've certainly been very good at disrupting the Wanderers line out in the second half. So they need to get this right, the two Blues, if they're going to mount an attack. Be nice and crisp. They go long and just get away with it.
Only just as Simmons now looks for McDonald, who reaches around his ankles for the ball, sets them up midfield as they come through, and now they pick and drive. And they're held up. They have to get the ball to ground. Nice work by Lamont. Yeah, what a job there by Steve Lamont. Really.
They can't get that third and fourth phase, the Wanderers. It's great defence from the Hawks in their own. They're getting men around the ball. They're slowing it down at the breakdown, or they're getting their hands on the ball and keeping it up and forcing a turnover at scrum time. Certainly not the prettiest game we've seen, but you can tell that while both teams played it down during the week, saying, "Oh, it's just another game. It'll be a good test to see where we're at." Forget it, boys. It's a repeat of the grand final. Both teams were undefeated. There's a real rivalry between these two teams. They've been the best teams for the last 5 or 6 years. The Hawthorn Cup's up for grabs. Don't tell me that it'll be a good test to see where you are. You can see that because the effort they're putting in, and they're not willing to risk things there.
Well, Bubba Coleman had the homework for the guys there today, and I saw what he had written on that homework, and I'm pretty sure this isn't just another game for the Hamilton Hawks.
No.
And that ball, nice little box kick there, getting some space as Backridge comes down the field again. First man there, Simmons, now looking for Marsh, who has a bit of space, looking for Ward, and Ward gets around Ward. Inside to Rowney now. Rowney, he's rounded up. And Backridge is over there. He chased like a terrier himself, and here's Jackson, flat-footed that time.
Yeah, Lamont all over him again.
Now Waller looking for a bit of space, looking for support, finds it in Sherwood. Sherwood, he's held up by some bigger bodies there by the Hamilton Hawks. They have to bind on here.
Yeah, he's called.
The two Blues, he's called it. He has to get to the ground. He's going to have to get the ball out. Yeah. And that is a good defence again by the Hamilton Hawks.
He got caught up high, Luke Sherwood. No matter what he did, he couldn't get to ground. If he did go to ground, it was going to be called up for a maul as well. They've changed the interpretation of that nowadays. And in years gone by, if it started as a maul and you managed to get it to the ground and get it back, it was pretty much play on, whereas now they're very quick to differentiate between a maul and a ruck.
Garrett Weaver coming on the field. Yeah. Sealer coming from it.
He scrummaged very well today for Vasila.
And I bet there's a big sigh of relief out there for the two Blues pack, because he has been at his damaging best at the set piece.
Garrett Weaver's no slouch, though, to be fair, when it comes to scrum time. There'll be not too much of a let up here, particularly when you've got some fresh set of lungs in there.
Yeah, nice scrum again, and that one going down. Little knock on there by Ferry, I thought, at the back, and Kilmurray gets the ball downfield off the left
Was
boot.
it touched?
It was
Out in the
touched, so
full?
it was out on the full.
Full
I thought
error
it
there,
may have been touched. Kilmurray.
He's not happy. Either
He's
way,
not
whether
happy at
he's
all.
unhappy with himself or unhappy with the touch judge. He did
We
have a
gave
bit of a
he
look.
did give the
If looks could kill.
touch judge a
the-
good scare. He has got a good stare as well. Of course, former NBN presenter. Has got the blue steel, Jimmy.
He has indeed. Very important line at this one, Wanderers. They haven't had much of the ball down this end in attacking positions.
Well, they have the last 3 times. It's been turned over. Just poor body height. And Ben Ham goes up this time and
Does well.
solid, wasn't he? Strong in the air. And this one goes to Simmons. Simmons goes to McDonald. McDonald runs out of options. Good defence out wide by the Hawks.
They'll just be flat-footed there, two Blues. Not quite deep enough again. They're just shoveling it to the left.
And here's Jackson again. Jackson
Good
winds
run.
up this time. This is a good run by the import. Now
No,
there's space
forwards
to the left. They go to the left. McDonald gets it out wide. It's going to be close, but he's
touch.
driven out over the sideline. Great defence there by the Hawks.
I think it was Sonny and Vasagotti, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they came across well, didn't they? They read the play. And again, the body height just probably wasn't there. But he didn't have much space to work with, Jimmy.
No, it was good defence though. Slid well and then muscled up. They go back to the line out. Ackersdyke has been a tower in there, hasn't he? I think he's won every line out. They haven't turned one over from the line out that I can recall. Again,
Yeah, they drive it up the field as well. This is a good exit by the Hawks. As Kilmurray, he was set to kick, but I fancy their chances running here. As they're short
yeah, the clock's
to the left.
Clock's starting to become the two Blues' enemy now with about 5 minutes plus injury time remaining.
Kilmurray goes up high, and again, not the best kick by the 12. Oh, that was trouble there as
Nathan
Sherwood
did well
comes
in the
up
end.
with it. He did well. Simmons steps and goes up the middle. We know he's very quick. Simmons going for the touchline, jinks away. But he goes up, he
found Luke
straightened it. He
Sherwood.
found Luke Sherwood, little flick pass out the
We've got
back.
numbers on the right here, the two Blues.
And here's Marsh. Marsh
They need to straighten
gets
it
the
up.
pass. They'll have to straighten up. They go for the corner.
Try.
And the flag goes up. The
late
try's
call.
denied.
Late call by the touchy.
We may.
Something always happens in this game. Something always happens.
We'll get a
Dylan
look at
Rowney,
that. Rowney
not
is
happy with it.
blowing up. We'll get a
Deluxe.
look at the replay. We might even slow it down here. It was a great catch and pass. He didn't have much to do.
Tommy Email, he's nowhere
Oh,
near
that
the
is a
touch
try.
line.
If I've ever seen a try. He was over.
Wow, a bit unlucky there.
Yes, try or no try? That is the question, and goes over the top. Oh, he can't come up with it, Jackson. He was the hero 2 weeks ago. Now he may be the villain, Jimmy. So, it's all happening here. 4 minutes remaining. The Wanderers, they're digging deep. They're pressuring this line. Denied a certain try minutes ago. He's been very involved, the touch judge on this side, hasn't he?
Yes, he certainly earned his dollars today. He's a new face for mine. He looks like a young chap. Certainly found himself on the cameras a lot today.
Big call there.
I'm not sure it was a good thing.
Big call there, and of course we do.
Doesn't have the benefit of a replay as we do.
We do thank the officials. The game wouldn't go on without them, but under the microscope now on Bar TV, and that was a clear error of judgment before.
But we don't have the benefit of a bunker here, possibly, thankfully. But
We've got the Bar TV bunker, and of course, founder, CEO Josh, he's probably got his feet up, eyes closed at the moment.
I see a Herald photographer, Marina Neal, down in that corner. I'm
Hoping she
hoping
got
she
it.
might have got the frame that we need. Wanderers, they haven't had a good scrum all day. They need one now. They need to put a bit of pressure on here.
Yeah, Ferry looking for the penalty. Won't get it. They'll reset. So the clock ticks away.
3 minutes of
3
match.
minutes remaining. We don't see too many drop goals here in the Rams NHRU, Jimmy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Hamilton feed. They'll need a turnover to do it. What they need to do is set a big, just put a little bit of pressure on this scrum. It doesn't have to. There's no in the world they're going to disrupt it.
Yeah, penalty to Hamilton. So the pressure valve is released. Size around the field, size around the ground. The Hamilton fans are on their feet. You can see the old boys down there on the touchline.
So they were certainly pretty happy with that last passage of play.
Well, it's the game that got away for the two Blues. They've been up against it for the majority of this game. In the last 10 minutes, they've certainly come good, so to speak, and denied the try in the 76th minute.
Certainly, you lead 15-0, though, against a very good team. Circumstances probably didn't help them when they didn't have any hands on the ball. And that's second part of the
players to the
first
bin
half.
as well.
Yeah, penalty count of 10-4 at half-time. You piggyback the other team into the game, don't you? And if you piggyback Hamilton into a game, well, we know that result from that. Good ball off the top from the Hawks.
And here comes Kilmurray. Kilmurray goes forward and gets them up over the 40. This time Rockabora goes for a nice little tight run.
They'll just be looking to kill this game off now, the Hawks. I don't think you'll see anything too flash.
Lamont now takes it forward. The three go-to men, wasn't it? Just then now, Sione on the far side.
Yeah, it started with Rockabora, then it was Lamont, now Sione again.
Here's
Lamont again.
He's been solid here today.
They've got some numbers on the left here if they do want to test their arm, the Hawks. And Ferry does the
Ferry
box
goes
kick.
for the kick out wide.
Possibly knew a penalty was coming, did he? Full time.
Full time, minutes.
Full time.
Still to go on our clocks here.
That's absurd.
And I know that
very rare that we're behind.
It's definitely not behind, that's for sure. Our clock is 100% accurate. No time gets taken off. So,
Interesting.
2018 is the final score.
Minutes.
In any case, it's full time here.
I'm going to do some work,
2018. Thanks very much, Jimmy, for joining us. Man of the match, quickly before you go.
I think Matt Ferry deserves it. He played a big part in all the tries. His decision-making was good. He got the ball in behind. His service was good. I thought he was... led the way.
Thanks very much, Jimmy. Of course, the Dust Hunt House match is Matt Ferry, the number 9 for Hamilton. It's been a great game here at Passmore Oval, and we'll be back with everything around the grounds tonight on the Saturday scoreboard, and of course, that big Under-19s Futures League match on Bar TV Sports live at 5 coming up next. Thanks very much. I'm Gareth Wozick, and I'll catch you next time.